Hi friends, it's Carrie from Farm. Well, today we are in the kitchen because it is a nasty rainy day outside and mud everywhere. So I wasn't able to get outside to start my onion seeds like I wanted to, so we're gonna do it right here in the kitchen. So this is what we're doing. We are going to start several different types of onion seeds here in the kitchen, and I'm gonna show you some ways to repurpose some of the things that you would just throw away in the trash, and we're going to repurpose them and recycle, reuse. Okay guys, so let me show you what we're going to do today. I have got several varieties of onions that I want to start today for the farm, and right now we are going to do Fort Hook. It's from Fort Hook Farms Heirlooms, and it's the Italian torpedo onion. Kind of looks a little bit like a shallot. And this one happens to be not cold tolerant. So after I get that germinated, we're going to keep this one in the house just a little bit longer before we plant it out in the garden, because it is not frost tolerant. And then the next one we have red burgundy onion, and this one is a short day, and I'll explain to you what short day, long day, and intermittent day means. So watch that. I will put a map up on the screen and I will tell you all about it. But this is a short day. It's a red burgundy onion, and short day is where we are. It depends on the number of light hours that you have during the day during the summer. So we are going to do the red burgundy onion, which is a short day. Let me show you that. I love red onions, absolutely one of my favorites. Love, love, love. And then what I got also, and I was thinking it was the same thing, but it actually was not. It's a red ruby onion, and unfortunately it's a long day. So this one needs to be really grown in a place that has super long light during the days in the summer, which we're not. But it'll just mean that this one will be a smaller onion because it's not going to get all the light hours that it needs. But it is a long day and it is cold tolerant. Everything else that I'm planting is cold tolerant except for the Italian torpedo. So we're going to do the ruby red onion. And then I have some more of the Texas Early Grano 502 onion. And it is also cold tolerant. And so we're going to do those. And that'll be some of my white onions, or kind of like a yellow onion. And then after that, we are going to do what is left over ow, my kitty cat's getting my foot. What is left over from last summer, ow, my cat's got my foot, she's killing my foot. White sweet Spanish onion. It is a long day also, so that just means that it's going to be a smaller bulb when it is ready to harvest. So we'll do that one also. And then the other thing that we are going to start is going to be the crystal white wax onions. And the reason I want to start these is because I want to be able to can some of these for my soups and my stews and my casseroles that I do, because I love the little bitty white onions in my casseroles and stews and soups. So it is a short day. It is also cold tolerant. So we're going to start that, and we're going to start probably all 250 of these seeds. So we'll see. Okay, so now that I've showed you what we have seed-wise, because we are in the kitchen and not at the potting shed with all of my potting supplies, I'm just going to get a bowl here that I use multi-purpose. I'm going to get some seed starting mix, and we're just going to put that in my bowl. And even though this is a seed starting mix, I'm really surprised that they have such large chunks of debris in there. So That's kind of funny. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, I am going to get some water, and we are going to get this moist so that we can get our seeds planted. So let me step back here and get this water going. I'm gonna let it get a little warm instead of putting right cold in there. Okay. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna let that water soak in. And it might be a little bit hydrophobic because it has been sitting on my grow light stands for the rest all summer and then up till now. So as you can see, all that water I put in there, it still is pretty dry. So let me get some more water and put in that. Okay, I'm just going to continue to get this all mixed in. Make sure that all of the soil is moist, but not dripping wet, because we don't want to make our seeds rot because the soil was too wet. That smells good. I love the smell of soil. Okay, let me wash my hands real quick, and then we'll get started on planting the seeds. Okay guys, I was talking to you about repurposing items in your kitchen so that you don't have to spend a lot of money, especially if this is your first time with gardening. You don't have to buy all of the expensive potting utensils and products in order just to start growing food. So I saved this. It was a vegetable tray, and it's got 5 little areas in there, and I'm going to plant each one of these little areas with a different variety of my onion seeds. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I am going to poke holes in the bottom because I want to make sure that there is drainage for this so that my seeds don't get rot because of water. Okay, so I've got some scissors. I'm just going to make a couple of little slits. We've got some holes in the bottom of this tray. Super easy peasy. So since I am in the kitchen starting seeds, I had to improvise because it's nasty and rainy outside. So just using what I have in the kitchen in order to get some seeds started here today, because they really need to be started. Even though it's rainy and nasty outside, they still have to get started. Okay, so what I'm gonna do to make sure all these are popped down, I'm gonna take my soil, and I'm just going to fill each one of these little pockets with soil. Actually, I might just do it over that. It might be better. And I put warm water in here so that the soil wouldn't have to heat up on the heating mat. I'm going to be placing these on a heating mat because they germinate about 70 degrees. So I will put them on a heat mat, but I didn't want the soil to be ice cold from cold water. So therefore the soil is nice and warm, and it'll be easier to keep warm when I place it on the heat mat. Push down a little bit, make sure there's no air pockets. Okay, so there we go. We have 5 areas to plant different varieties of onion seed. So what we'll do now, I'm gonna go ahead and start my tags, because as most of you know, I am not very good at tagging my seedlings, and then I end up not knowing what I'm planting where. So this year I am vowing to label, 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 label. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna tear this in half. And let's see, the first one we're gonna start will be, let's do the red burgundy onions. So I'm just gonna go ahead and write the name. And always use a garden marker when you are labeling your vegetables or anything that you're going to be putting in your garden, because Sharpies, they fade and they wear off real fast. Permanent markers, they wear off. This has been the best markers that I have used so far. I still have some labels out in the garden bed that has gone through several years of being reusing the labels because my garden marker did not wear off. I will try to link this in the description. I got them off of Amazon several years ago, but it is the Art Line Garden Marker. Okay, got my red burgundy onion. I'm gonna put my label right here on the side so I know that that is what is in there. So we are going to plant these about 1/4 of an inch deep. They do not need sun or light to germinate. They'll just need heat, but as soon as I get my grow lights set up, cleaned, and ready for the season, I will put them under the grow lights. But when they're germinating, onions don't have to have sunlight. So as you can see, onion seeds are fairly large and their onions are super easy to grow. So this would be an easy thing for you to try for your first time garden. Let's just go ahead. I'm going to try to just kind of move some of the soil around, and then I will push the soil back up on top of it. Now you're probably thinking, oh my goodness, she's putting too many seeds in that one little container. Well, the good thing on onion seeds is that they will, when they germinate, they'll all germinate up like a big wad of grass. But the good thing is once you pick up them out of this container, you can gently just kind of rotate them around, and you can separate each one of these onions parts, and you could have just in this little space a good 100 onions, because they're so easy to manipulate and get apart, and then go ahead and plant them out in your garden with the right spacing. So like I said, this is going to be super, super easy for y'all who are new gardeners. Super easy. You can start them in a little container that you can recycle. Okay, so I've got a lot of onion seeds in that. So I'll show you in another video how you can separate the onion starts once they germinate. So we've got those. I am going to put just a little bit more soil on top just to make sure that I do have all of those seeds covered. And that is super, super, super easy. Just going to press it down a little bit to make sure that the soil and the seed are in contact with each other, because we don't want any of those seeds in any air pockets, because it'll be hard for them to germinate. So I went ahead and wrote long day on my tag just so I know, okay, just watch these, because they're not going to be as big as I want them. I'm really wanting to see how big I can get my onions this year. Just cross your fingers with me so we can have a large harvest of onions and big onions. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put my tag right over here on the other container. So we've got it labeled. So go ahead, and I'm just going to continue this on with these next areas, and then I'll come back and show you how I'm going to do the white wax onions. All right, friends, we've got all of the seeds in, and I have my water out in the greenhouse. So I'm just going to put just a smidge of water just on top to make sure that they have just enough water to germinate. I don't want to put too much, but I just want to make sure that there is enough water in there. And I don't want to do it too hard because I don't want to accidentally move all of the soil and dislodge the seeds. All right, I believe that is wonderful. Okay, so here we go. And you know, the one thing that you always need to do when you are starting seeds and you're starting them in a container, what you need to do is have a humidity dome on it or something on top of it that will keep that humidity in the seed area. Because if I just sit this in here on my grow light stand like this, with all of the heat in the house, the winter heat, dry heat, it's going to evaporate the water out of the soil super fast. And once these seeds try to start germinating, if they become dry after they have been moist, they will stop. It'll immediately stop and you will ruin all your seeds. So you always need to make sure that you have some sort of humidity dome on top of your tray that you are starting your seeds in. So luckily, recycle, reuse, we have this wonderful little top that came with the fruit tray that was in. So I am just going to put that on top, and you can already see how that is starting to make humidity in there. Just look at that. And that is what you want. You want humidity in your seed starting containers so that your seeds can stay moist, not wet, but just moist so that they will germinate. So I locked down these last three over here, but I left this one edge open just so some airflow can get in, but we're going to be able to keep that humidity in. So guys, I'm just going to slide this over, show you what we're going to do with our white wax onions. A little bit different, but kind of in the same way. And then later on, I will show you an update of these on the lights in the grow room, but right now I have to clean all the area and set up my lights. But I needed to get these in the soil so they could start germinating so I could put them under the lights. Okay guys, so here we go. We're gonna go ahead and start kind of the same process with the white, crystal white wax onions. Got a container. I got these at Dollar Tree. They're really flimsy and they're good for what they do, but don't expect them to last more than a season. I'm lucky that I've been able to use these more than a season because I've been very, very careful with them, but just beware that they are very flimsy and you will not get more than a season out of these. The other thing is when you get these, they do not have any holes in the bottom. So I went ahead and cut some holes out. Like I said, I used this last year. When I was done with it, I put it on my light, my grow light stand and left it there. So that's why it's in good condition. Also, the good thing is it comes with its own humidity dome. So usually they're coming like this, and that's how you'll find them at the Dollar Tree. And so here's your bottom and here's your humidity dome, and you pop that on and there you go. So we're going to do the same thing that we did with all these other onions, and we're going to do it for my crystal white wax onions. I don't have very much soil, so it is going to be kind of a little bit lower in the tray, but that's okay because this is not where they're going to stay. This is just where they're going to germinate, so that's okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and just tap it down so that there's no air pockets in there. Then I'm just going to get my seeds, do the same thing that I did before, and I will tag them in just a second because I've already got dirt on my hands. These are also short day, and they also need 70 degrees, the minimum of 70 degrees to germinate. So they will need to go on my heat mats, so that's okay. Okay, so we're just gonna shake these out. And they are about the same size as the other onion seeds. There we go. Okay, so we've got probably half a pack, and there's 250 in here, so that's okay. I think we're probably good with that. So we're just going to put a little bit more soil on top just to cover up those seeds. And I think this was just a perfect project because I had just enough soil to do all of this project. Awesome, awesome. Just kind of slide that around, tap, tap, tap to make sure that the seeds and the soil are in good contact. And there we go. Let me put just a little bit of water on that, just a little bit, not a lot, just to make sure that I have it has some moisture in there. And we're gonna pop that humidity dome on. Oops. But also these, like I said, these are Dollar Tree, so they're not good quality. You have to kind of use both hands and just kind of treat it gingerly when you do use them, but they're great. Now these are not going to show you the humidity quite as fast because the soil kind of cooled down before I got the humidity dome on, but I can see a little bit coming up here. But let me wash my hands real quick and get my tag on before I forget to tag. All right, guys, so we are done with starting our onion seeds for today. So exciting. This is the first seeds of the 2024 gardening season, and I'm so excited that you joined me today as I showed you how to reuse, recycle, and start some onion seeds because they are super, super easy to start. It is super easy to grow. So why don't you go on there and find your favorite seed company, order some seeds that are in your growing zone, and get started growing. Thanks for joining me today, and make what you have beautiful. Hey guys, as you can see on the map, the long day onions will need 14 to 16 hours of daylight per day. The intermediate day onions will need 12 to 14 hours of sunlight per day, and the short day onions will need 10 to 12 hours per day. So look at your growing zone and order your seeds accordingly to the number of daylight hours that you will have in your area.